Yeah, I did not have my mic on, so I don't know if any of the audio got picked up. I don't know if it. I think it might default to another microphone on the computer or something. Okay, anyway, just to rehash. I mean, we're just getting into it anyway. So, we've been learning these scales and learning what the chords are in the different. In the scale. So the scale, if you look at surge next to my head, the cent values, or next to my head, next to the camera, is so that's one octave of the scale. And if you notice when I'm playing on the piano, it's actually just a chromatic scale for 7 notes. So literally this tuning is just, and you can see it on the browser here. These are all the cent values, and that's what's loaded up on Vital, which you can see Vital kind of, dancing around and stuff every time I hit a key. So that's just showing you kind of what Vital's doing. And yeah, so this is a 7-note scale. A mode of this type is called Porcupine. I'm not really too sure what makes it Porcupine. I think it's the size of the steps. So I think the main Porcupine scale is basically a 7-note scale with 1 large step and 6 small steps. And any configuration of that, I believe, will give you Porcupine. Like a form of Porcupine. But I'm not totally sure. I'm just now learning about Moss scales, so that seems to be the case. But I don't really know. But anyway, so our first mode that we have pulled up in Scale Workshop, you can see the first step is the largest. So every row here are the show you the cent values. I'm not doing this on Vital, I'm doing this on the browser. So over here. So yeah, every row here is what I might actually do is take the cursor off of Vital, because I don't usually use it anyway. I could also take it off of Surge. Did I already take it off of Surge? I'm gonna take it off of Surge too. So, okay, cool. So, yeah, because Vital lights up so much anyway, you can kind of just tell what I'm doing, even if you don't see my cursor. So. If I have to, I'll just turn it back on later. But okay, so this first mode, to me, it's easier to kind of look at what the triad is. So the triad on the first note, which actually it's not our 2-1 here. The scale I'm playing is slightly different. I'm kind of just used to playing it. We're actually based off this 7th mode. So this is actually, I don't know if I should fix that or not. I guess I'll change it. So I export this tuning. Oops, just saved it as I don't think the other one is labeled as Porcupine anyway. Alright. So I'll actually replace the tuning on both of these so that they are the same, or so they match up with the wait, did I do these right? Tuning library. Make sure I did that right. Ah, here we go. So now this should actually be a different scale than what I was just playing. It's gonna match up. I'm gonna load up surge. Or let me adjust surge. So now they should match. So now that's that first mode here. So this mode 1 here is like major. So that's a major chord. So I actually think I prefer this to what we were doing. I did have the 7th mode kind of as the first mode, and you might think, oh well, you know, just keep that in mind and they all sound the same, but I don't know, I think I like this more actually. So it'd be like the first mode. So the first triad is major. So you see the 5th is 703. It's basically Pythagorean. 5th just a little sharp. Second 5th is like an undecimal diminished 5th. I can't remember the interval off the top of my head, but it's like a 2215 or something. I'll look it up in a second. And then so those are 2 types of 5th. I'll look it up right now. So the other 5th is it's 2215. And it's right on. I mean, it's 663 cents in JI, and here it's 662, so it's very close. And then yeah, so I mean it's closer than our regular 5th, so. Is that right? That second triad sounds. That sounds right. The fifth is sounding like way less diminished. Maybe it's because I changed the sound I was using. I was using a little more. I just like that other sound way more. I'm just gonna stick with that for now. So yeah, that's like a basically like a diminished chord. I mean, that fifth, if you're like me, like might look at that and think, well, it's not very diminished, and it's not, but they call it diminished, so I don't know. What makes it diminished, I think? I mean, it's smaller than the regular fifth, so. And the third, the minor third's kind of wide. So it's proportionate, you know, it's literally just two of these 331 minor thirds. This minor third, this is really close to the 2319, I want to say. 2319 minor third. So very high limit. I think it's what's it called? Trisemotertial. Trisemotertial. How do you say that again? Trisemotertial. Find that. Bisesimotertial. I couldn't find the actual word, but I found a very similar word. Yeah, bisesimation. Vicimation, so probably vicimotertial then. Vicimotertial. Almost sounds like there's not two S's. Vicimotertial. Super minor third. It's 23 limit. So yeah, kind of a sharp. And this one is made famous by Zaya Rose's Novum Deca 12-note keyboard mapping, which she calls primodal. So all the intervals are over 19. So this one's 23 over 19. And then anyway. So, point being, we have a major chord, a diminished, then a minor chord, pretty clean minor with that nice vicimotertial third. Then here, we have a major, which I actually like the way this leads into the last chord. Kind of like the way it leads back in. So we go major at the end. So that would be mode 1, basically. So just starting from the large step, being the very first note. So this would be large, small, or something. Large and 6 smalls. And then for every scale, we just shift that large step over a bit. So here, for mode 1, large step's here. Mode 2, the large step is here. Then here. As you can see, it moves diagonally over, and it's here, and finally it's back to here. So we basically have two major modes because we have two major chords. Just mode 1 and mode 7. So mode 1, mode 7. And here's the modes played in like just like a scale. And then we have three diminished modes, I guess. I don't know if you can really call them that, but here's the first one. Second one, and third one. So that's our three diminished modes. As you can tell, they sound really similar. Just like the major modes sound really similar. Because they're only different by one. They're only different by one note. And so in our first mode, first major mode, the second is just a Pythagorean second, or octave reduced Pythagorean ninth or whatever. And get rid of that actually. Well, maybe not. And so yeah, if we played a chord and add the ninth, it's a pretty nice wholesome 9. Whereas in our other major mode, mode 7, that 9 is a neutral second. See, it's 165. That's the greater undecimal neutral second. So if we were to play the 9 on that chord, as you can hear, it's a little more subdued and jagged and mysterious, really. Actually, I really like that chord. So yeah, so the 9 is the big different note there. All the other chords are the same in those two adjacent modes, so mode 1 and mode 7. Well, the chords are not the same. What am I saying? Other than all the other notes are the same. So anyway, so that's, yeah, so the first chord is major. First mode, first chord, major. Second mode, second chord, diminished. Now, this mode, we have 3 diminished triads in this scale. But if you look, they have a different 7th. So all 3 of these chords have the 331 minor third, which is the vice-tertial minor third, and then the 662, which is the novum decimal, or I'm sorry, I keep novum decimal, undecimal diminished fifth. So it's 11 limit. That's what undecimal means, 11 limit. Vice-tertial means 23 limit. That's prime limit. So yeah, this is the undecimal meaning prime limit, if you're not aware, it just means given any like ji fraction, the highest prime number is 11. And this is not ji, so these aren't even really the intervals I'm calling them. They're just very close approximations. And usually when we analyze intervals and chords and different edos, the trend, at least for now, is just to reference a ji. Ji is kind of being the since ji is perfectly in tune, it's like mathematically perfectly in tune. Anytime we have an interval in an edo that is closer to some hey Romeo, what's up? Anytime we have a interval that is close to a ji interval, we'll just call it that, even though it's not perfectly that. So we any like fifth in any edo, even if it's like 10 cents off, we'll probably just call it a 3/2. And that's just a way to help to classify the different types of intervals and chords, so that you can talk about different edos without having to have completely new. It's also a little more refined than just saying major or minor chord, or even when you add in super major and sub minor and neutral thirds and all that. The since ji chords can be very specific, if something's close to that, it's even more descriptive. It's even more descriptive and nuanced than saying just major chord, minor chord, or whatever. But anyway, so the first mode we have is major, with that nice Pythagorean ninth. And then the second mode is one of our three diminished. So all three of these triads are diminished, although with this kind of lightly diminished fifth, although it does sound off as a fifth, of course. But when you add the extra note, it's not bad. But as you can see, the sevenths are all different. So if we were to play the fully diminished chord, this one is literally just a stack of these 331s, of these vicimotertial minor thirds. So it's just a stack of those. Whereas here we have, and interestingly enough, when you stack these vicimotertial minor thirds, the seventh is more or less Pythagorean. And that's the mirror, or the inverse of this 206 cent chord. Romeo says, true, because a 375 major is very different from a 395 major. Both could be classified as a down major. Yeah, that's interesting. And for me personally, it's very hard to see anything close to a 12 edo major being 400 cents as being anything other than major. And Romeo's, I don't know if you know anything about these 372 cent major thirds. This is the one interval in its inversion over here on on the minor 6 side. That's the one interval I really I'm not aware of any like JI equivalent or near equivalent. But I did notice, interestingly enough, the 12 Ito major third is I think 14 cents sharp of the what is it, 5/4 major third, because the 5/4 major third I think is 386 roughly, and 12 Ito is 400, so that's a 16 cents difference. 12 Ito is 15 cents sharp, or 14 cents sharp. And this 372, although I haven't found a good JI analog or equivalent, it is 14 cents sharp, flat of the 5/4 third. So it's almost like the shadow version of that 12 Ito third. If you just look at it, just look at the cents. So I'm kind of thinking of it like that. And if that's true for this, it must also be true for the minor 6. This must be just as sharp of the JI 6 as the as this third is flat of the JI third. 372 still counts as a down major, but bordering on sub major territory, like 26 Ito's major third. Interesting. So down major, bordering on a sub major. So yeah, this is not terminology I'm very familiar with. So I mean, I've heard down major, but I've mostly heard it in reference to notation, and not so much in reference to chords or chord qualities. So from this, I would assume that down major is below major, but not low enough to be considered sub major. And then, of course, sub major would be below major, but not low enough to be considered neutral. So, and yeah, I do think this is a major third. I mean, even though it's pretty flat, you do, I mean, it's a very flat, very calm kind of major third. But even so, especially after hearing a minor, I mean, it does sound major, but yeah, it's quite flat. So down major, and then what do you think of the? Romeo says, yes, major kind of depends on who you ask. Some say that sub major, down major, Pythagorean major, and other all fall under major. Right. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. So they'd all be different qualities of major, but maybe a pure major is different from a down major or sub major. So a major third would be specifically like a JI major third, or in the region, or in my opinion, you can't start. It would be silly to start calling like the 12 Ito major third something else. So the thing that's kind of odd about a lot of microtonal theory, and kind of just the way people talk about microtonal stuff, is in order to be, I think, more scientific, it tends to divorce everything from 12 Ito and recontextualize 12 Ito in like a JI. I feel like 5/4 is down major and 81/64 is major. So, yeah, that makes sense. And that's kind of, so 5/4 is down major, and I kind of get that feeling myself. Like it is clearly a major third, but being so used to that 400 cent major third, it just feels so calm and placid versus like a 400 cent third is just very energetic in comparison. So being used to that sound as being a major third, like literally, my whole life up to like just a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, it's very hard to like think that a JI major third is somehow more of a major third than a 400 cent major third. Although mathematically speaking, the JI major third is certainly purer. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm kind of with you, Romeo's. I think a 5 more is almost like a down major, and this is even more. So, so maybe it's a down major or even approaching a sub major. But to me, it does just sound like a very chill major. And in fact, let's see. So, yeah, I kind of actually want to get a little context. So let's just compare those two intervals in a scale workshop. So we'll do another instance of scale workshop. So for this we have 13, sorry, 1729, is that what it is? 13 of 29. So we did 13 of 29. Wait, that doesn't look right. Oh, it's a 9 of 29. We did a 9 of 29. Kind of just want to compare these since we're talking about them. But don't know how I feel about 1310 and 2116. Are they thirds or fourths? Technically, they're closer to being fourths, but they don't feel like that. Yeah, these are the interesting intervals to me. I really like those. Like I like a sub fourth that in certain contexts feels like a third, but when heard after hearing like a more obvious third, don't feel like a third anymore. So we'll try these out too. But yeah, I want to hear this and the 5/4. So wait, how do you just get both? Pretty sure you can just get both, right? Oops, wrong slash. 5/4. There we go. And then I also want to hear the what is it? 4 of 12. So this will be all these. So here's the JI. There's this. Now compared to that JI fourth, this does sound pretty, actually let me throw the fifth in there so we can get the whole chord. So, that sounded pretty crazy. So yeah, here's the down major. The extra down major. Here's that JI third. Yeah. It's noticeably flat, and then the super bright major third. It's funny hearing the major third with the perfect fifth, actually. I wonder if it sounds different with the it's kind of funny. Hear the JI third with the 12th fifth. Anyway, this is our normal. It's our normal major from 12. There's a JI major, which is super like crisp, but also very just so relaxed. Now here's our new note. And actually, we are playing with this. What is it? 17 of 29. We're playing it with that. So there's that. Might as well just get them all going. I'm not even sure what I'm doing anymore. And then the, what is it? 7 of 12. That looks right, right? They're all in order. Yeah. So, here's our 29 Edo down major triad. Then here's JI perfect major triad. Sounds so clean. And then here's the 12 Edo major triad, which hearing it in context of all these, this one is crazy clean. Holy moly. That one's pretty chill compared to this. Yeah. See, it definitely has a different quality. Definitely has a different sound, different mood. It's a little more. It just does sound major though. At least to me. I must be sufficiently zen-pilled because the 12 Edo one sounds the most boring. I mean, I guess the point in 12 Edo is not to sound interesting, but very unappealing compared to these other ones. I do wonder what happens when you mix the fifths. Mismatch the third and the fifth. I can't really hear it on this one. They all sound about the same. That one I can hear. It's a little off. If you let it ring out, although these are almost, I can almost not tell there. You can I can vaguely tell this one is just has less it just sounds cleaner. It's less going on, but yeah, they all pretty much sound the same. So yeah, compared to that, this is definitely like a subdued major, like a down major. So yeah, thanks for your insight on that. Okay, what were we doing? So the next mode is this diminished mode, which I found this one really interesting because the 7th is roughly Pythagorean. It's like 4 cents flat of the Pythagorean minor 7th, because this one's like, is it 4? No, it's like 3 or 4 or something like that. I think it's just 3 cents flat, and this one's 3 cents sharp, because our 3rd is 1.5 cents sharp. Our 9th is 3 cents sharp, which means our 7th would be 3 cents flat. So, oh, wrong one. This one, the 993 7th, the 3 cents flat. And this is the same interval as this trisemotertial, or I'm sorry, vicemotertial minor 3rd, the 2319, stacked 3 times, more or less equals. And this is still 1 cent off too, and this is 3 cents off. So I think this one's 1 cent. Well, 33.7 is pretty damn close. I mean, it's not even 1 cent off. Not even 1 cent off. So this is quite close. This is a little flat, right? Because the what's the Pythagorean 7? I think it's 16 over, no. What is it? It's got a 16 in it, or it's over. Oh, I can't remember what it is. What's the Pythagorean 7th? Oh, it'd be 2. What is it? 4 3s. 4 times 4 is 16 over 9. Is it 16 over 9? That must be it. Yes, Pythagorean minor 7th is 996. This is 993. So yeah, this is 3 cents flat. Why did I look this up? Can't remember. I guess just to see how flat it was. But this, yeah, this is the same as stacking 3 of these vicemotertials, or 993 is. So you get very close to this. Not exact, but very close. So this diminished chord, because the minor thirds are so wide, even though the space between the notes is all even, the full span of the chord is a minor 7th, not a diminished 7th. So it's like a halfway between a fully diminished 7th and like a half diminished. Not really halfway between, but like it's like a hybrid of those. Since the half diminished has 2 types of intervals in it, fully diminished has 1 type of interval. But yeah, I just find it interesting, and I do like the sound. And yeah, I love the sound of diminished chords anyway. And yeah, it's a little more, it does lean kind of towards that half diminished in terms of being a little more chill sounding, I want to say, or feels dark but not intense, if that's a good way of putting it. Not as intense. or it's just not as suspenseful, I think is maybe a way of putting it. Yeah, versus these two diminished modes and chords, these are more just straight up half diminished. So the bottoms, the triads are still made of these kind of wide minor thirds. I can't remember how big the I never remember. I think it's 314, 315. Yeah, I can never remember. So the JI minor third is already wide compared to 12 Ito. Yeah, this one is quite wide even then, adding another 16 cents. So maybe that's super up minor, super minor, I don't know what you would call it, but it's definitely a little sharper. So yeah, we have this kind of, I don't know, that really smooth wide diminished chord, and you have two half diminished chords. So yeah, if you like diminished, there's plenty of it. Seems a little heavy-handed on the diminished, I have to admit, but I do like diminished chords, so we'll see what happens. See what we can come up with it. I'm really intrigued by this chord though, so I think I'll keep going back to that kind of. It's fully diminished, but the thirds are so wide that it's the same span as a half diminished. So I don't even know what to call that. It's very interesting though. And it also, this chord has kind of got me wondering about, since this is so basically that is the same thing as splitting the 16/9 into fourths, more or less. It's kind of just that. These are all just transpositions of the same sound. That's right? Yeah. It got me wondering, what if you were to split it different ways at same interval? And then I don't know if I should do the 2/1 or not. Did I do this wrong? I think I did this wrong. Was it splitting into thirds? Why am I so confused right now? No. That's not right. It's a 4-note chord. Oh, it is right. Look, the cents actually match up. Okay. It's the same as splitting that into thirds. I don't know why I thought of fourths. I guess because the diminished chord has 4 notes, but I guess that would be the same as splitting a octave into fourths. 4, I guess so, yeah. But not the it'd be like splitting the 6th into thirds, I guess. Never really thought of it like that. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, you're splitting this into thirds. But yeah, it did make me wonder though. So I just did it by mistake. I was wondering what would happen if you split it into fourths, Because then you should have that Pythagorean 7th. And then these are... Oh, these are like neutral. Yeah, and I was curious too what would happen if you just made a scale with those put together. Just gonna do that real quick. And then just put 2 over 1 on top, I guess. Maybe not. It's only a 5-note scale. So it's kind of bluesy. Interesting. I wonder if we use the harmonic 7th instead, what it would sound like. I guess this is the only note I need to keep. Split into thirds and into fourths, and then just add them together. I think that would go right here. Not really sure. No, it's not what I wanted. I thought I got rid of that. Oh well. Let's just do this. It's a bit of a tangent, but I was just thinking about this. Just want to know what it will be. Sort ascending. And I think we have some redundant. Do we? What is going on here? Shouldn't that be it? I'm so confused. Just do that. Is this right? Let's do one thing at a time, because I'm just getting confused now. So what does this sound like? That sounds more diminished to me than the this. I think it's because the 7th is a little smaller, so it's a little closer to the major 6th. That sounds pretty cool though. What is, I wonder what that interval is, the 3/22 cent. Minor 3rd, it's not that sharp from, well, what is it, 8 cents sharp from the JI minor 3rd. And then, yeah, I want to know what the 4 equal divisions would be too. So that would give you this like semi-4th thing here. It's a very pentatonic sound. Even though there's no octave equivalence, I feel like I could. Still feel like I could come up with melodies in that. It's pretty interesting. I have to make a mental note of that. So, alright, anyway. was a bit of a curiosity, just inspired by this. And then, yeah, so the next two modes, they basically have the half diminished chord. So, if you do the full note, or 4-note, stack 4/3. You get 2 half diminished in a row. And then finally, we get to some minor chords. So these nice minor modes right here. So, diminished, 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 or half diminished. And now minor. And both of these have the neutral second, the minor third. The first one has a, what is that? Pythagorean fourth and a Pythagorean fifth. And what's interesting about this mode is that it's the only one out of all of these that has a pure fourth and a pure fifth. So every other mode has either a pure fourth and a diminished fifth, or pure fifth and an augmented fourth, which I do like augmented fourths, so it's not really a problem. But as far as building chord progressions and stuff goes, it's nice to have just a plain old fourth, because then you can go down a fourth, or you can play that 4 chord. You don't really have a 4 chord in any of these other modes, which is a little odd. Well, you have one here, but you don't have the 5. I mean, you do have 4 chords in a lot of these modes, but there's no fifth. So anyway, you get to pick your poison depending on the mode, I guess. And but yeah, if you're in this one, which is so 1, 2, I guess mode 5. You can do the that thing. What's this one? How'd you make the F5 chord here? So it'd be 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. There we go. The 5 sounds weird because there's no leading tone 7th. So yeah, that's the limitation of all these modes. No leading tone. Which I think is why the having this as the 7th mode instead of the first mode kind of works out nicely, because there's no leading tone anyway, and that kind of whole step modulation is pretty smooth alternative. So going from it's nice versus going from if this is mode 1, that's still fine, but yeah, maybe there's no difference. I don't know. I mean, they're different sound, but maybe one isn't actually any better than the other one. So yeah, so this minor mode, the first of the 2 minor modes, mode 5, it has that clean 4th, and then mode 6 has the sharp 4. So it does sound pretty interesting. So yeah, and then the final mode was actually the one I was using as my first mode at first. It's pretty much the same as this one, but the second interval is that the 9th is neutral versus this. So yeah, if we treat this as mode 1, this is a little more normal. It's a little closer to like a normal major scale. Obviously it's not exactly normal, but it's a little closer. And this one works just fine as a major scale, but yeah, it's just a little weird with that neutral second. So now we've kind of analyzed this to death. And just to review, we got major, mode 1's major with a regular 9. Mode 2 is like this interesting kind of chocolatey, splitting the minor 7th into thirds, diminished scale. These are both more or less half diminished. The only difference between these is the 6th on this one is just flatter, and the 6th on this one's a little brighter. So this one's a little closer to a classic diminished, or like Dorian type of minor, but the 5th is flat, so it's not really. Anyway, just the 6th is different. So this has a flat 6, kind of. It says a major 6, kind of. Something like that. And then I guess this is a neutral 6th, and this is a minor 6th. And then yeah, this is like a actually I've kind of ignored the 6ths on these, always ignoring the 6ths. There's a minor scale with that neutral 6th, another minor scale, the neutral 6th, but also with an augmented 4th, slightly augmented. And then we have a major scale with a neutral 6th, but a nice Pythagorean, no, that's the first mode, with a neutral 2nd as well. And I don't know if that neutral 2nd lines up with that 6th. To me, it sounds pretty good. So yeah, basically I think the next step, now that I've spent like a week just analyzing this, is just to start improvising in the different modes. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with like a drone patch in Vital, and then I'm going to just start noodling in this scale. So the drone will kind of modalize it, for lack of a better term, and the scale will remain the scale the whole time. But yeah, I need to find a good drone sound. So I do think I'm going to create a separate instance of Vital. That's so annoying. You know, maybe I won't. How am I going to do this? I will eventually make a separate instance of Vital, because I'm going to be playing over. I'm going to be playing a second track. But for now, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, because I have to reset everything in here. But we're probably done with the browser for now. So we'll just go into the go into Reaper, and I guess I'll start just checking out some different pads. And I'll go a little lower too. I'll see what they got in terms of pads and basses. Maybe some of these other ones too. See if we can't find something to tweak. Because I'm not really a big fan of my patches I've made from scratch in this. I think I need a little more practice. I might just keep tweaking some of these that already sound pretty good, and I'll get a better sound out of that. But yeah, I did start learning a little bit. I did start watching a video on Vital, and I definitely learned a few things, but still have a lot left to learn, of course. So let's find a pad. That's not it. Okay, probably gonna jump straight to the pads first. Oh, that's too crazy. It's still too crazy. It's too pitchy. Maybe something more like that. I'm not wild about it. I actually do like that a lot. That one would be a good start right there. That's kind of boring. Also a little boring. Doesn't really sound like a pad on it. I guess. A little too abrasive and forward. Alright, I think I'm just gonna go with that one. Because I just like this one right away. Alright, it's a little creepy. I might try to brighten it up a little bit, but I think it's good. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make another instance of Vital that's literally identical to this. And I am going to just put that drone in MIDI. So we're getting the fifth on a so that's going to be playing in the background. And on top of that, it's going to be playing some stuff. So the sound, but does it actually sound like that interval? That's not even... Okay. So I'm gonna... Oops. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to load up the other one. I'm trying to add some bass to this. Pitch is already like super low. I don't even know what's really causing the got some hidden oscillators, do some FM. Where's the basic shapes? was just trying to tweak this so it's a little less bright. That's a very interesting sound. Okay, so I think I'll just try that for now. So I'm just gonna leave that running in the background. Open up our other instance of Vital if I can find it. Found it. Alright. And yeah, I'm just gonna start kind of playing over these notes. So this would be let's just double check. Should be mode 1. I'm not really hearing it. Yeah, I don't know, actually. The sound might be too... sound might actually be too elaborate. Because I just don't hear the... I don't hear that. Or even that. I guess I could try adding the chord. I mean the full chord, I guess. It all kind of sounds like the same mood or something. Like it's not actually playing the notes. I don't hear that in there at all. It's just got too much going on. I really like the sound, but I don't think it's a good sound for this. So let's try to find a good sound. So I guess I'll load that other one up again. If I can find it. See, I don't think that one's gonna work. Let's try something else. Is there a way to do this? How do I do this again? I made a shortcut. can make this global. Why is this showing? Why are these out of tune? For some reason this is... I literally duplicated the track. Why would they be... offset? Is that the same note? This. This is so strange. Is it just this sound? Weird, this sound is up a whole step for some reason. Or down a whole step, why? Is there a way to fix that? What's affecting the pitch? There's barely anything on this. Hey, this is like consistently... If I bypass this, will it do anything? think at some point I must have budged that. But now I think they're good. At some point I must have nudged that. Alright. Okay, I don't really like this sound even, so. Let's see what we have. Filter on that. Yeah, we will do that. I guess I could bring the cursor back on that. Just messing with these macros. I didn't do anything with that. Alright, this will probably work. Happened. I clicked some stuff I didn't want to click. Oh well. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I guess I'm just gonna start recording. See what happens. See what comes out. See you, Romeos. And thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Alright. So that was some of the mode 1. So I'll pull that up real quick. Mode 1 is this one. So that's what we were just noodling in. So now if I literally just take our MIDI drone, I don't think I have this pulled up. Where is it? Over the top. Yeah. So here's our, let's just take this and, now the thing is, this is a diminished fifth. So I don't know if I want to leave the fifth as a drone. Oops. Oh wait, no. I need to keep that there. I'm just gonna move it up here. So from here, at least for the time being. Yeah, that's a diminished fifth, so that might be too much. I'll try the third. Actually, you know what would be cool? Would be to do the seventh, because it's got that fun seventh. It's gonna look like a tritone on here, but it is a seventh. Either that, or just do that. Probably be fine, honestly. Let's do that. It's clean. Alright, so enough of you. Be gone. And well, so yeah, we're doing this mode now. So keeping track at home. It's mode 2, which is this basically it's like wait, my bad. Right. It has a fully diminished seventh chord, but the seventh, because the minor thirds are so sharp, the seventh is just a minor 7. So it's like a fully diminished seventh, but the seventh is just a regular 7. So it's like a wide diminished. It's got this wide diminished, so actually very excited about playing with this one. So yeah, let's just get into it, I guess. cool enough. So that was mode 2, which is that diminished, weird diminished over a Pythagorean seventh. Splitting a Pythagorean seventh into thirds, kinda, basically. And then the next 2 modes are also diminished, but these have the neutral seventh. So these are going to have the neutral seventh. So basically we're just gonna whoa, come on. It's gonna keep on going. I don't think I want the full third in there. Probably not. For the diminished modes, I'll just stick to 1 note for a drone, because the 5th is gonna sound too wonky, and the thirds are just too tight down there. I tried the 7th on last one. Well, I guess I could try the 7th on this one. Just see if it's makes a good drone. It's too kind of distracted by that. Okay. So now we're in mode 3. Now we're in mode 3. What the heck is going on, dude? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, now we're into mode 3. Alright. Guess you're following along. So that is that one. It's already been 2 hours. Well, yeah, it's probably about time to wrap up. So we got through 3 of the modes. The first major one, 2 of the minors. Now that we've kind of like theoried this to death, I think tomorrow, after a brief review, it should be a lot more music. Because I really want, what I'm thinking, at least for now, for the live streams, is that I'll have sort of a background goal that corresponds to the title and all that. So in this case, we did start doing Nautilus, but we narrowed it down to Porcupine and 29 Edo. And what I think we'll do is have the mission for every, whatever the subject is, to come up with something, a final product to use and to put out. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually go into like mixing and all that on stream, but I might. I'll probably try it. I don't see why not, actually. It'd probably be fine. It's not any less boring than what I'm doing now, so if anyone's gonna watch this, they'd watch that, I'm sure. And that will like sum up the season or whatever the subject is, and we'll just kind of do it like that, and then we'll get a fresh start on a new tuning eventually. What I kind of want to do is keep going with Porcupine and just change the tuning. Either that or start to expand out and do more on 29. But I'm kind of leaning more towards, let's just stick with Porcupine. Let's see if it gets boring real fast if we just stick with Porcupine and change the tuning. And if it does, we won't do that for very long. But if it doesn't, I think it'd be an interesting way to kind of get into some different tunings. So I'm pretty sure Porcupine is in 22, so we'll definitely look at that. I think it's in 17. And I'm not sure if it's in 31, but if it is, we'll definitely look at that. So yeah, we'll just look at some different tunings and try some different versions of Porcupine. Actually, since we're thinking about it, how can I do this? I want to see like, if I just pull up a notes thing. I guess I'll do this on notes. I'm not used to using Mac. I've had Macs before. I like Mac. I just have been on Windows for a few years, so I'm not used to it. So maybe we'll figure out some of these Edos. So Porcupine is 1 long, 6 short. So if your long is 2 and your short is 1. Alright, sorry, other way. if they're all 1, it's 7 Ito, of course. So if long 2, short is 1, and then that'd be 8 Ito, right? So now we'll do long 3, short 1. So that would, of course, be 9. And then long equals 3 and short equals 2. That would be 15, you know, right? 3 plus 12, right? Long equals 4, short equals 1. Then what's 4 plus 6 is 10, you know. Long equals 4 and short equals 2. Then what's 4 plus 12? 16, you know. Long equals 4 and short equals 3. 3 times 6 is 18. So it'd be 22 Ito. So that's a 22 Ito one, or one of the 22 Ito ones, I guess. If there's more than one, or it could be more than one. So equals long equals 5 and short equals 1. Then we're at 11 Ito. Interesting. I'll probably check that out too. I like 11 Ito. I like 11 Ito. And 11 is contained in 22, so there's obviously another version in 22 that's includes the 11 Ito. That's basically the same as the 11 Ito one. But okay, so if long equals 5 and short equals 2, 12 plus 5 is 17 Ito. So there's the 17 one. We do have 17. Long equals 5 and short equals 3. And then it's 3 times 6 is 18. So that'd be 23 Ito. 18 plus 5. Long equals 5 and short equals 4. 4 times 6 is 24 plus 5 is 29 Ito. That's one we've been doing. Haven't seen it. I think there's one 31. Now it's pretty unlikely I'm gonna go do all of these, but and a lot of them are gonna sound really similar. So if the small step is 1, you just change the large step. Those are all pretty similar. I'm not gonna be that. I don't think I'm gonna get that comprehensive with this kind of thing. But we'll see where it goes. We'll just see where it goes. So if large equals 6, then 6 plus 6 is 12 Ito. So you have this in 12. Well, that obviously sounds really stupid. Yeah, I think these really lopsided ones are probably less useful, just in general, than some of the more balanced ones. So like in 29, the step sizes are pretty similar. If it's really lopsided like this, the large step is a tritone in 12 and a semitone. So it's not going to be useful for like finding chords, or really for finding like good scales. So a lot of these will be like that. And some of these really small ones, I mean, I might try them out. I might just try like 8 or 9 and just see what happens. But I'll just start with the ones I'm actually interested in. So I'm definitely interested in doing 22 and 17. 23 looks intriguing. I've never done anything in 23. Anyway, let's finish out the sixes and then get going. So if long is 6 and short is 2, 12 plus 6 is 18 Edo. Didn't we already have 18 Edo? I guess not. So it's not another 18 Edo. It's just 18 Edo. Short is 3, then we have 18 plus 6. That's 24 Edo. That one might be cool to check out. Who doesn't love 24 Edo quarter tones? And it includes 12 Edo. So 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 6 would be 32, right? No, it'd be 30, right? 24 plus 6 is 30. Sort of interesting. Not seeing so 30 plus 6, that'd be 36 Edo. So yeah, these just go 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Well, I guess that makes sense. I'm not seeing 31. We'll do one more. So 7 plus 6 is 13 Edo, so another one, 13. Not another one, that's the first one in 13, so we have one in 13. And then, yeah, but this is also, I mean, this is like this, but actually worse. So the really lopsided ones, probably not very useful. And then, be 12 plus 7. What's 12 plus 7? 19, I think. There's one in 19. Probably not a good one though. It's probably too much like this. Because 7 steps in 19 is like a pretty wide interval. It's like a fourth or something. Or it's a third. And then 2 steps is isn't it? I believe 7 steps in 19 is a third, and then 2 steps would be a like a just a regular whole step. Not sure if that's gonna be. Sounds sort of interesting. I don't know. Maybe we'll check that one out. I do like 19. So 3 times 6 is 24 or 18. 18 plus 7 is 25. Yeah, that's interesting. There's another one I've never messed with. But every time I see the number, I'm like, why don't people mess with that? And then 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 7, there it is. There's our 31 Edo. So we'll definitely check that one out. Make sure that's right. 4 times 6 is 24, right? And then 24 plus 7 is 31. And that's what I was looking for. Just want to see if 31 was in this set. And then we have a 37 Edo. Interesting. Might check that one out too. 37 I've never looked at, but it sounds interesting. And then 36 plus 7. Is that right? 6 times 6 is 36 plus 7, that's 43 Edo. So I don't know. That probably is sounding. As these get larger, as the Edo gets large and the step sizes become similar, it's just going to sound more and more like 7 Edo. So once these steps get large enough, it's kind of silly to look at these super particular configurations. So if the Ito is large, a little space between the step sizes. So the 31 I think is probably worth checking out. But I mean, because as the Ito gets larger, the steps get more similar in size. Like one of each becomes more close. 1 versus 1 is more close. What am I trying to say? I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say. Anyway, as the Ito gets bigger, the steps get smaller. That's all I'm trying to say. And after a certain point, it's difficult to appreciate the differences because they're a little too subtle. So if it's a 7-note scale, it almost becomes identical to 7 Ito. And so on and so forth. So yeah, here's a good list of porcupines to check out. So I'll probably try 22 because it's kind of just one I like. And then might check out 11, but maybe not. Definitely down to check out 31 because it's 31's always good. Kind of curious about 19. I think I'll get all the heavy hitters, get 17, 19, 22, 31, maybe even look at 15. Because 15 is an interesting tuning. So I wouldn't be surprised if that sounds, for instance, quite a bit different than what we're doing right now in 29. So we'll narrow it down. When we get a little closer to that point. But alright, that'll be the plan for the next week or so. But yeah, if you watched the stream, thanks for checking it out. And thanks again to Romeo or Romeos for their valuable insight. And I will be back probably tomorrow. Not sure if I'm gonna try. I might try to stream a little earlier than I have been. I have been streaming like pretty early in the morning, late at night. I might try to do like nobody's watching right now anyway. Doesn't matter. I'll figure that out. But okay, anyway, that's it.